Good evening, everyone. My name is Tyler, and welcome to the OCR Reports coverage of the 2025 US National Series. I'm joined by my friend Miles Keller. Miles, how you doing?
Tyler, how's it going, man? I'm excited. Last race of the series. It seems
Yeah,
too early in the year to finish up a series. Does it feel like feels off?
yeah. It's still only midsummer. We have a lot of great other OCR races to go that are more typically in November area championship time. We just had WTM, so the calendar is really shifting over to this time of year for championships.
Yeah, it just feels weird. But you know what? It is all sprints. It's like one of the few years it's ever been all sprints, so it's kind of in line with everything being kind of shorter time frame, right? Shorter races, shorter time frame, wrapping up the U.S. National Series with this. And what a way to go out, right? I've never raced Utah, but I've seen so many pictures and videos from there. It looks just absolutely beautiful.
It is absolutely awesome. If you're a traveler for Spartan, hit the beast for sure, right? But be wary of your lungs if you're coming from sea level. I did the age group series in 2023, and that was a stop, the Utah Beast, and definitely a tough race. And I believe it still was an age group series race, the Beast anyway. But today we're talking about the sprint here. So why don't we talk about some of these athletes that we're gonna be seeing today?
Yeah, it'll be really interesting. A lot of them, the way the points have been playing out, a lot of it's already kind of locked in. I think the men's race will be more interesting today. I think, like, say, for example, Cassandra Gill on the women's side, I think has the points wrapped up. I think some people have such a lead that they're already kind of mathematically locked into certain positions, and that other people definitely have to show up if they want to try and make that top three or the top 10 in this
Yeah,
case.
absolutely. So we're looking here at the leaderboard right now, and you see Matteo Poliza in first place, 656 points. Now, one thing to note is that he has done three races already, and nobody else in the field has quite yet. So Adam Beach really is in pole position when it comes to winning the series, right? All he has to do is earn 56 points, which honestly I believe is even outside the top 10. It's for this race, which is definitely almost you could. There's not many locks in OCR, but this is probably a lock for Adam Beach to finish top 10 today.
Yeah, that's what it's looking like too. I really love to see the progress of Mike Strobel as well. I know he didn't race that last race, if I remember correctly, but it looks like he is here today in Utah, and so it'll be really cool to see where this turns. This kind of changes everything. I'm also really fascinated with Matteo Belisa and Lauren Bongiovanni, the Italians that came over to compete in the U.S. National Series, and they're killing it. They're doing fantastic. I want to know how in the world you get away to a whole nother continent and and you have that time to like train and hang out in a whole nother and compete in a national series. Obviously, the
Yeah,
Europeans get way more time off work than we do. I'm,
more
I'm
holidays, more time
missing
off. Yeah,
out. Like I get
right.
a
Yeah,
week
for,
off,
for
right?
yeah, for sure. Right. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, speaking of which, I mean, we had the two big elephants in the room right now. Speaking of Mike Strobel, so Mike Strobel actually just raced World's Toughest Mudder, 90, I believe, 90 miles, fifth place. I'm pulling that kind of out of thin air here, so excuse me if I'm wrong there. And then Cassandra Gill also just raced in Morzine. So speaking of other countries, WTM being UK, Spartan Ultra Worlds being in Morzine, both within. Morzine was last week, and WTM was 2 weeks ago. So they're both coming off massive efforts. Particularly Mike, right? 90 miles, 24 hours. So very curious to see how his legs are holding up for the sprint.
Yeah, I know. I was really rooting for Sabrina Buhagiar. We've been watching her in the U.S. National Series, and I know she went the Morzine as well, and I was really rooting for her. What an absolute monster of a course! I wish we had more live footage of that race over there because those views look absolutely beautiful. It is one of my bucket list races I need to go do because of all the video and pictures I've seen from just that's the French Swiss Alps. But yeah, a few of these athletes, just like you were talking about, are coming from these endurance efforts, and they're jumping right into a U.S. National Series race at elevation in Utah, which is a ski resort as well. And it will be really interesting to see if that's taken a toll. Some people recover faster than others. Some people respond better coming into an effort or workout or race a little taxed. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. Who can hold that pace at this elevation? Once again, it's a sprint, so you don't need as much endurance, but it's also a ski resort. It's going up a mountain and down a mountain, right? The way I understand it, kind of goes up a little bit and goes down a little bit and then comes
Yeah,
up some
yeah,
more and
Miles.
then
We're just about to talk about the map here. So, to Miles's point, what we're gonna see here is so you're looking. It's a little bit hard to see because of the way Spartan lays out their map sometimes. But you look. Yeah, yeah, here we go. This is perfect. Looking at the red, so it's also part of the Super and B scores. That's why you got all the colors. But you were looking for that the red line there. So looks like we're going to go straight up the mountain. So it'll probably begin with a kind of with a crawl, not actually a real crawl, but probably pretty slow compared to Charlotte and Jacksonville that we saw earlier in the year.
yeah, really weird. They got the plate drag number 2 there. I've never seen that.
Yeah,
You,
it should be a. You think it'd be a decent cluster, but it looks like it's going to be at mile one or a little after mile one, so there will probably be some separation already for the top competitors. But yeah, I mean, you'll see it goes right from just a wall to plate drag, another inverted wall, and then right to obstacle 16. So we're going to go way up the mountain, then we're going to start screaming down and start hitting obstacles. Um, and most particularly, I'm interested to see how that sandbag carry plays out because these race directors they love to have some fun on a ski resort when it comes to those carries. That's usually the make or break. We just had Palmerton this weekend. I was able to race there, and definitely the crux of the race, if you will.
yeah, absolutely. That's as Spartan. Every time there's a hill, that bucket and sandbag is going up the hill or mountain. It's never going down. Well, you eventually have to come down, but it's always going up. And if there's a hill, you're going up and down and up and down. Like, but you know what's been interesting? Out of all the races I've seen pictures of this year all around the nation, it seemed like the barbed wire crawl has been the really tough ones. Didn't they have the one in Ohio that is this infamously super long stretch going uphill that everyone said was like living hell? It was horrible, they said. And it was,
Yeah,
you saw a picture.
yeah, sometimes they like to throw little moguls in there too to really throw off the athletes. So we've definitely
Yeah,
seen
especially if
barbed
you're
wire
rolling
crawls
through
that
it.
are several minutes long. I've actually mentioned it before on a previous show, but we have Adam Beach, who's one of my good friends, who I've raced. He's from New York, so I'm really close to where I'm from, and I've had the displeasure, I'll say, of raising him multiple times, and he's very very quick at the barbed wire crawl. So be curious to see what he does this time on this crawl.
Yep, it looks like there's some really heavy carries, like the Atlas carry and the bucket carry back to back. Not too soon after that sandbag carry, that looks pretty rough. So everyone's shoulders are going to be taxed, and then we're coming in
Yep.
here into this next. Looks like the last little gauntlet is a lot of stuff very close together. What is that? 8 obstacles fairly close
Something like
together, and it's
Yep, and of course, speaking of cruxes, you've got the spear throw as well, right? For those of you who haven't been really paying attention, 2025, it's 30 burpees now. It used to be all burpees, then they introduced penalty loops, then they made it all penalty loops, and now they've stuck with the times of old where Spartan gives you 30 burpees if you can't hit your spear, and they've got that little circle now as well. So that's going to be a real uh, a real battle if it's close. It could come down to it.
now I've never done a dunk wall right to the Herculean hoist. I wonder how wet if that rope is muddy at all and your hands are wet coming out of the dunk wall. Imagine how much harder the hoist is. That could be
Oh yeah.
really interesting. I can't wait to see that.
Absolutely. And typically in US races lately, I actually personally have not seen a lot of barricades on the dunk wall. So you haven't actually had to go submerge underwater completely. So you'll see a lot of competitors take a little more slowly and try to keep their hands dry and or mud free for obstacles coming up. But we'll see. I know Charlotte actually did have that barricade. So only time will tell when we actually get to the course.
Okay, I can't wait to see this last race of the U.S. National Series. Let's bring it
Yep. All
on.
right. And here they go. So we'll start to try to once we get a full view. Here we go. We'll start to point out some of the top contenders here. It looks like they, in this race in particular, it looks like they will send out all the men by themselves first, and then the women. So you're looking at all the guys here. You're looking at Adam Beach. Like I said, the guy in pole position. He's on the far, I guess, the left side of your screen. Next to him, you got Mateo in the blue. You've got Tomash in the center, black leggings, yellow shoes. You've got Mike there right next to him.
Mike, looks like
and
he's
you've
got
got
some fun
Dustin.
shorts. Look at those shorts
Yes.
that he got.
Yeah, he's got some funky
I
shorts. I
like
think
those.
I
Yep.
can't really tell because he might be covering the logo there, but I think that could be a chicken leg short there. Those always have some
Yeah,
funky
those
looking
are like fun.
logos.
It'll be
No.
easy. It'll be for once easy to pick out one of the athletes, right?
Yeah, right. And let's talk about these race conditions too. I mean, not really sure what we're looking at for humidity, but I mean, 65 degrees is really ideal for running, especially if you're not getting baked.
Yeah. Now I don't think there's. I think they're gonna be. I think it will be somewhat hot because it doesn't look like there's much coverage. Like they're directly in the
Hmm.
sun, even though 65 very doable. But it'll be
Yeah.
interesting to see if there's any foliage that gives them a little break from the direct sun. But I'm with you. 65 is dream weather for me to run in.
Yep, absolutely. And then also finishing off those athletes that are in the front, you've got Dustin Needham with the tattoos right next to Mike, and he's been in my inbox lately. He's definitely a younger gun. Dustin, you know what I mean?
Yeah, he's having a great year.
Oh
He's
yeah,
having
he
a
is.
great 2 years.
Yeah, he's been in the game for a while. He's also done really great stuff with hybrid as well. So it's always good to see him out there.
That's right. He does a lot of Deca, doesn't he?
He does. Yeah.
It's so interesting. There's a lot of interchange in between hybrid and OCR, which is why so many OCR athletes have started doing hybrid. Because it's already kind of
Hmm.
intrinsically the way we train for OCR is compromised running. So it seems like a natural transition and kind of fun to do in between your OCR races.
Hmm. It absolutely is. Although now it's getting real competitive, where you really do have to specialize. All these top guys
Yeah.
here, they're not doing hybrid, and the top hybrid guys are not rolling around in the mud anymore either. So you'll
Yep.
look at the
Absolutely.
turnout. Actually, wow, is this all? Oh, I see a female with her phone out. I
Okay.
don't know if that's. It looks like they're all men except for I saw one female kind of roll out
I
there.
think it looked like one lady didn't get the memo. She went with the dudes at the beginning there.
Yeah,
She was just rolling.
but like I said, even still though, I mean, like lately you've been seeing. I mean, now they don't have the gated rules anymore. You're maybe seeing 50 or so elites in general. But that's looked like a solid 100 dudes, which is always good to see.
Yeah, yeah, that is a packed crowd. Well, that's what you and me were talking about. The second obstacle is now going to be that plate drag. Look, we've all done the plate drag. There's what, 10 lanes? And that
Maybe,
is a lot
yeah.
of dudes running with that. You don't want to, it's a U.S. National Series. You don't want to wait for 30 guys in front of you to do the plate drag. You need to get there before those
Yeah,
other guys, before the other nine, right?
that's right. Yeah, and it looks like we're sending the ladies off almost right after, maybe a minute or two behind the men. So giving them some lip service. You've got Kaci Monroe there in the green top. I'm trying to look up for Cassandra Gill, but I couldn't get an eye on her. So
Yeah,
Casey Monroe
she
is
doesn't
the
race. She doesn't race this one. She sits this one out.
okay. Oh, so Cassandra Gill is in pole position, but she's not racing today. Got it. Okay.
Correct.
All right. So we'll try to, for you folks, we'll try to talk about what we have on our screen here at all times. So we're looking here. We're looking at Mateo, and then I believe we're looking at Adam Beach and one other guy in the front so far,
Wow, look at those views.
and they're approaching.
That looks so beautiful.
Oh yeah, no, it's a beautiful venue. So like I said, I mean, this is definitely a hot list. You should be near the top of your list if you're looking to travel out for a race, especially if you're a trifecta chaser. You got all three options. Definitely a good one for you, but not easy.
Yeah. Now it looks like you can tell there's a bit of an incline. Like they're definitely going up there. I failed to ask our producer, Jason, what kind of grade that is. What kind of incline grade you would imagine it is. Now you've done this course in the past, and I don't think this section changes. Tyler, what kind of grade of incline do you think they're fixing to go up?
I'm saying so. It's probably looking to based on their stride. They're probably looking somewhere between like the 7 and 10% mark or so,
Yeah.
right on this section. In particular, it looks like it's actually now getting a little steeper as we continue to go up. You see this guy here going into a little bit of a hike,
Yep. Full power
and
hike.
then of course. So here we got a good shot of Dustin Needham there.
Right there.
Again, I
Jason
believe he's
Kilgore in
somewhere
front here.
around seventh. I believe he's also only done one race, though. I think he only made it out to Big Bear. not mistaken. So
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's done. I'm pretty sure he's done more than that. I think he
he's done more
competed.
than that.
Yeah, I think this is his third.
And here's Mike
Yeah,
Strobel kind
starting
of
to see a
taking it
little
out for.
separation.
Yeah, I mean, then again, like I said, Mike Strobel's got solidly 90 miles on his legs from 2 weeks ago. So
Yeah,
definitely not a not I wouldn't imagine his legs would be springy. I did WTM last year, and I was not doing a Utah. I was not doing any sort of running at all for 2 weeks. So kudos to him.
looks like a little break in the shade. So there is some coverage there, just from the angle
Yep.
where the sun's at. It looking like it's obviously not over them, but they're getting a little break from it as they suffer up the mountain.
Yeah, and if you're listening closely, especially with headphones on right now, you might be hearing some heavy breathing. That's from our rabbit. So we got to give the proper lip service to the rabbit because without the rabbit, we would not be talking about this race and bringing you coverage right now. It is hard work, especially on a race like this, where you also have to go up this incline, deal with this altitude, and hold a gimbal with a phone recording the coverage here. So
Yeah,
definitely
he's right there
big
with the
big
top
shout outs
backs.
to all the rabbits who are volunteers, by the way. They're volunteering their time to do this race, probably in between their other races that they're already there for. So big kudos to them.
Well,
Just gorgeous, the
I'm
sun
always
coming up
taken
this
back
way.
by the. Yeah, as I was just gonna say, I'm always taken back by these views, these perspectives. They're just absolutely beautiful.
I think this is why Utah always gets a really good turnout. Is just because of that alone, right? Like,
Yeah.
um,
Yeah. Well, you can make a whole week of it. You know, you go up there for the race. You want to get there if you're not from elevation. Get there early as you can to kind of start acclimating to the elevation, and then go see the sights, man. Go see these other cool hikes, these other beautiful national monuments they have, like all these really historical sites that are rich in culture and history there in Utah. Would be really neat to see.
yeah, exactly. If you're looking for performance, you really want to get out there either 2 weeks in advance or like a day before. So, most people, because of people usually have work and whatnot, they usually go for that like day or two before. But of course, if you can extend your vacation, definitely you picked a good state to do so.
Or you could do like the Europeans and just hey take a couple months off, come compete in the national series of another
Right?
continent, and live the
Oh
good
wow.
life.
And
We're doing it wrong over here,
yeah,
apparently.
speaking of the Europeans, I mean, he came out to
That's
play
right.
today. Mateo
Yeah, he's
is look
killing
at
it.
that lead he's built up for himself. We're about 6 minutes in. If I had to guess, based on the way he's running, they're probably a solid half mile in at this point. Remember,
For
obstacle
sure, at
two plate
least.
drag is not until like mile like 1.2. So he's definitely built up some room, which is impressive considering this field. Considering you got another guy we haven't talked about yet, who's right on your screen in the black here, Ethan Brown.
Yeah,
He's a very young guy. I think he's maybe 23 or so, something in that ballpark, but loads of experience. He's been doing this
yeah. He's always
for
done
at
really
least
great
five
in the
years.
longer.
Yeah, yeah, he's been doing this for at least 5 years and has been competing for at a high level for all those years as well. So
Yeah.
definitely look out for Ethan for sure. Definitely a little surprised, honestly, by where Adam Beach is in this race. How he lost contact so quickly with Mateo and even Ethan to some extent. I mean, just the field in general is really spread out.
Well, these guys are going to pick their strengths too, right? Like you're not good at the mountain. If you don't live at elevation, you don't have mountain courses. This might be the race you drop. Or if just due to the
Sure.
whole schedule you couldn't drop this one, you have to race this one. Maybe you're trying to be a little more realistic about where you're going to place and not blow up. Get the points that you
Mhm.
can, but don't go for first place where you're going to blow up and then lose the points that you could have had. There's a whole strategy
Right.
to it, right?
Yeah. And I mean, a course like this with all this elevation, it's probably going to be a 35, if not 45 minute 8-minute sprint. So here comes Mateo already down the mountain. So yeah, this is where you spend 8 minutes on the climb, and then you can really make up a lot of time going down, especially at obstacles. So um, really, maybe might be a better fit to go up slowly and then
Hey,
come
Mateo.
down hard.
Yeah, he's flying.
And once again, this poor rabbit, just trying to keep up with
Yeah,
Mateo. Yeah, he's already a
there we
mile in
go.
at
We see the
8:30. Honestly, yeah, an 8:30 OCR mile is pretty strong even for a flat course. So I'm not exactly
absolutely.
sure what region in Italy Matteo lives, but it's I got to imagine he's either putting in miles on that Nordic track or he's or he's out there in the mountains.
Yeah, the Dolomites in Italy. I believe there's a race out there, and it's
It's
absolutely beautiful,
Adam!
and a killer
Take him
course
out!
too as well. So I don't know if he's ever. I would beg a guess
Good
that
job.
he's definitely done that race, and no stranger to the
Oh
mountain
yeah,
races.
most certainly.
Oh, God.
All right, let's see who else we got here.
Good
So,
job, Ethan.
here we got Ethan, who believing is going to be in second place. Right behind again Mateo here in first. That's a trail 10K sign. Nothing important there. But here's the plate
Yes.
drag kind of hidden amongst the grass.
Oh yeah, it's usually kind of in a bare area. That I wonder if anyone will accidentally run past that. It looks like they got volunteers there to help point them to it. But honestly, I could see plenty of people just running right past that.
Oh yeah, especially coming down the hill, for sure. So,
Oh yeah,
all right. So here
they
we're looking
spray.
at we're gonna get a good idea of who's in what place now. So we got Mateo in first, of course, and Ethan Brown in second. I'd say Mateo.
Serious
Let's see,
red.
he's leaving at about 10 minutes. Oh, Ethan's switching here, so he's having a hard time with
Yeah, I
this
mean it's
this lane.
you got to pick that lane. It's hard to tell if you pick the wrong lane. It
And
could really make life more difficult for you.
yeah, want to get confirmation from the producer, but I believe this is in the blue shorts is Grayson West. I think his
Good
last
job,
name's
guys.
West. Kilgore. Oh, Kilgore. Excuse me,
That's
Grayson
right.
Kilgore, I should say. So Kilgore is a guy actually. He's done a lot of DECA as well on the West Coast. Definitely very strong West Coast racer. I don't think he's in the series, but looking to maybe play some spoiler to some of
There we see Adam Beach.
our other competitors who are in the series. So to kind of give you another update here, Mateo is first, Ethan Brown second, Kilgore third, and then Adam Beach four, and then a host of other guys here in somewhere in that top 10, really battling for important points for sure.
We finally see Mateo Pelisa doing the power hiking. Oh no, he's back to running. That's the first
Back
time
to
I've seen
running.
him power hike at all.
What a savage, honestly. If he just
Yeah.
runs away with this, I'm gonna be more impressed than I was in the other races we've covered so far for you this year.
You know what? This terrain looks very runnable too. It's beautiful, and it's obviously difficult because it's at elevation. It's going up, but it looks very doable. It's not. The terrain doesn't seem undulating as
Mm-hmm.
much. It looks flatter as we kind of see there.
Absolutely, and you even have like some. Looks like the brush is kind of out of the way, which is usually pretty rare for a Spartan. So definitely allowing people to open up and run for sure.
I've got to do this race. These views are beautiful. I can't. I know. I don't want to sound like a broken record, but you could just pan away from the sport completely and just do a 360 on top of the mountain over there, and I'd watch it.
Calm you and put you to sleep. Hopefully, we're not doing that
Yeah,
for you today.
yeah. Let's go with the producer. Can we change this to ASMR and we just
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So
the
yeah, this
sultry
is
sounds
awesome.
of Tyler and Miles? You know.
Calling a Spartan race. Yeah, that's
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. Hopefully, we can make this interesting with some of these guys closing on Mateo because this must get in your head. Honestly, if you have a guy that's already you're 10 minutes in, he's already a minute in front of you. That's and these they look like they're running slow because they're at altitude and at elevation, but This is hard. This is hard efforts for sure.
Yeah. Even that pace, they're going up a mountain. Like that is very
Yeah,
difficult. Sometimes with the video, it's hard to tell the grade of incline, so you really can't kind of tell it messes with the rated perceived exertion, right?
yeah.
For
And
the
this
athletes
right
to
here
watch.
is interesting, right? Because you see Ethan Brown going into the power hike and Grayson Kilgore sticking with the run. So I'm sure Grayson is like, all right, let me just try to get in his head a little bit, right? Because if Grayson makes a pass on Ethan, that's definitely it's going to be all mental.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you hear those footsteps coming up behind you. It does absolutely get in your head. You're like, oh, I better pick it back up. This guy's right on my
Mm.
butt. And it could wear
Yeah,
him
it's
out.
scary. It's scary to be. I think it's harder to race as prey than it is as a predator, for
Yeah,
sure.
agreed.
What up, guys? You guys doing great?
So we get some other men going over the slip wall. Again, Dustin Needham, as we mentioned before. Try to call out any other notable names as we see them, or any women as we see them as well. I know so far we've really only talked about the men, but that's like I said, we're just calling what we got on our screen at the moment.
There's those cool shorts. There you got Mike Strobel killing it.
And
And
here we got a good view of the plate drag and Miles, as you're mentioning. I mean, what a cluster we got over here. Like, might almost honestly be a line, which is definitely tough to see in an elite field, but especially for some of the ladies that might be still near the top of their race.
yeah. Well, I mean, the cool thing about the plate drag is that you have the ladies' lane and the men's lane. So
Sure.
that should hold anyone up between the men and the women. You know, it's something I've always loved about OCR, and Spartan is pretty good about having a men's lane and a
Hey, do
women's
you know where
lane.
they go?
But there are
Do you
certain
know where
other
they go back
races
down?
where there is the same lane, and the men in our sport are always really good about like, hey, I've tried this obstacle and I failed it. I got to try it again. But here comes the women. They're going to move off to the side. You give the right of way to the women so you don't mess up their race, and then you
Yeah.
Hey,
take
you
your
might get
try when you.
confused with the
I
tape.
think we're
The course is on
really
that
good
side of the
about
tape.
that, and we just don't
Yeah.
talk about it very much.
Yeah, absolutely. No, for sure.
Just to see.
Especially knowing it's a national series race and there's some real money in line. Like here, you see an example right here. That's Kaci
Yeah,
Monroe jogging through,
Yeah,
and then this
buddy.
is Miles. Remind me of the Italian woman's name again. You nailed it.
that's Claudia
Here we go.
Bongiovanni.
Claudia. Claudia. Yes.
Bongiovanni,
Cool. So we get
Claudia, and
yeah.
she's
Bon
killing it. They're
Giovanni.
battling it out.
There you go.
She's really pushing
Yeah. I mean,
Casey
look at this
Monroe.
lead
Casey
here,
Monroe
right?
looks like
It's basic.
she's
Yeah, it's basically a
yeah,
two horse race at the moment.
yeah. I mean, she's comfortable at mountains, right? Casey Monroe, this is her jam. Mountain races, elevation. She loves this. She's my favorite to win for this race for this one. But I tell you what, Claudia
Mhm.
is on her, and she's going to make her
Yeah,
work
I
for it.
mean, based on Mateo's performance, I'm assuming they probably travel and train together. So based on
Yeah,
Mateo's performance, you could imagine that Claudia is also kind of in that same boat, training hard in the mountains up in Italy. I mean, you definitely about a 5 second gap between those two ladies, and you're probably right about on the money still
Yeah.
at this point in the race.
I need to know who that other young lady is there with on the right side of the screen. She's killing it. She's taking souls too. She's passing the dudes left and right, and I don't know her name, but she is absolutely killing it.
Hard to tell. See what else we got going on here. Like I said, again, a really big field of elite men showing out for this race. So, and that glare is also making it not super easy to ID certain people. But essentially, you see some at this point in the field, you see some folks running, and they're going to be more of the ladies, whereas of course the men are kind of at a walk at this point.
Look, and Mateo
So
is
here we
just
got
having a hell of a
another
race.
another shot of Mateo.
Course is on the left side of that tape, so you don't get confused when you get up this way.
We got our producer helping out there. It
Yeah,
seems like
Mateo.
he did a really good job of marking the course there. It doesn't seem like that's an easy one to go off. I really like it when they have the straight lines on the course so you can't go off instead of just having little markers here and there.
Oh yeah, absolutely. All right, now here we're at the sandbag carry. So this is obstacle 5. For those of you who are new to watching a Spartan race, men is going to be 60 pounds and ladies would be 40 pounds. So here, what I'm talking about, some of this stuff that Mateo is dealing with right now is that high brush, potentially a bit thorny, for sure.
Yeah.
So you know, with this climate, people are going to be, for the most part, wearing shorts. So definitely doesn't feel good to get scraped up by some thorns, especially if you're trying to carry that sandbag.
Yeah, you have the adrenaline pumping. You're not even going to feel it right then. You definitely feel it when you cross the finish line and you stop moving.
Oh yeah.
And you look down and your legs are all cut up.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they're
Yep.
little mementos you get to take home, and they make for cool pictures. So there's that.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
They're straight up bushwhacking.
Coming down in a couple minutes.
Look at Grayson Kilgore. Which looks like he made up some pretty good time on Mateo there. Honestly, I feel like Mateo's lead since we last saw him working has shrunk a bit. So I'm curious to see what a strength athlete, someone who I mentioned before is strong and hybrid, is going to be able to do on something like this, like a carry.
Wow!
Now
Look
before
at
you couldn't
Kilgore
see
made
Mateo.
some time up there.
You couldn't see Mateo and Grayson in the same camera shot, and now you can. And he's also put a pretty big gap on Ethan, who's a smaller, more endurance-based athlete.
Yeah, and that Grayson Kilgore looks like a bigger dude. Looks like he has some bigger, stronger legs. This is where he's going to really shine. That 60-pound sandbag right there, not a whole lot to him, and he is making up time big time.
Absolutely. There's Adam. He stopped to tie his shoe. Honestly, not a bad spot to do so, in my opinion. He put up his leg on the box of the sandbag, and also then got a brief chance to let his heart rate come down a little bit before he took on a hard carry, because this looks like a long carry.
Good job.
I'm not sure exactly what time Mateo grabbed the bag, but we've got, I believe this guy here, Tomasz, is in 5th in the leggings there. So 6 guys, and Mateo's still not back with his bag yet.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
It's just a good rule of thumb. No matter how long you think the sandbag carry is, when you pick up a sandbag in a race, guess what? It's longer. It's usually much longer than what you think it is.
Yeah, for sure. And here goes Grayson. Looked like he might make a pass on this carry, which is just incredibly impressive, considering the lead that Mateo appeared to have earlier. Either that, or he might kind of just stay on his shoulder and then try to work him on the down.
Yeah, I think it would be because Mateo Pelisa can obviously outrun him. If I was Grayson Kilgore, I would have made that pass right there and capitalized on every bit of that time you have.
Good job, Maddie. Waiting for Kaci.
He's handling that weight like it's nothing.
There he goes. Yep. Honestly, I mean, no disrespect to Grayson Kilgore's running, honestly, though. I mean, we've seen him run, and we've seen him run compromise. Like I said, he's done very good at DECA, and there he goes already with the pass, like I mentioned before. So he probably wasn't working nearly as hard on that sandbag as Mateo was, and that allowed him to burn a match on this downhill, should he want to. Look at him now. I mean, was that a 10-meter lead right there? That's impressive stuff.
Yeah.
Not easy.
He's bombing the downhill.
I honestly
Especially
wasn't really
bombing
too familiar
downhill.
with...
Bombing the downhill
really
is one thing,
familiar
but
with
bombing it when you can't see what's underneath the grass, like that's pretty dense grass, right? That's another thing. It takes a lot of guts to just bomb that.
Absolutely. Yeah, so here we got Kaci Monroe, who just picked up her bag,
Good job.
and then Claudia, who maybe now, I know the last split at plate drag said about 5 seconds. It's probably looking more like 15 seconds now. So Kaci put in some gap on her in that time. Yeah, we talk about running up the hill, but I mean running down the hill also very challenging too.
Sorry.
You want to keep your balance. You don't want to fall over.
Doing great.
You don't want to roll an ankle. So
Despite that.
you kind of see Mateo
I don't think
breaking a little bit as opposed to actually full on like run striding like he will right about now.
But you have a good
So
lead on that.
definitely a difference in strategies here for sure. But look at him go here. Like you just saw him accelerate.
He's pushing hard.
And it looks like Ethan is actually still looking pretty good too. Maybe could be within 15 to 20 seconds of Mateo, so he's definitely still in there. And then curious to see what Adam Beach does on this. Adam Beach is a 15 high 5K guy. So if he gets
Oh,
a
wow.
flat section to run, he's definitely not out of it.
Yeah, this is a long descent. You could really make up a lot of time here.
Absolutely. And I know this is elite women on the clock here, but so we're a little bit beyond that as far as time goes. So we're
Good job.
here's elite men. Yeah, 23 minutes. So we're solidly more than halfway through this race for the men.
Hey, Bucks. Down this way, yeah?
Yep.
Yeah, those guys are moving really fast. Even our rabbit, you can hear him breathing hard, and he's on them.
Sorry.
Absolutely.
Little single track. That also makes things a little more interesting. Makes it harder to make that decision if you can, when you're going to pass, if you can pass.
Right. Yeah.
You got
'Cause
more
it's-
men.
Yeah, definitely a lot more challenging to get around somebody. No one's giving you're not getting it on your left in when you're in the top 5 of a U.S. National Series, especially on single
Yeah.
track. Not happening. Like you got to either make your move in the brush or you got to hang up behind until you get enough of a gap. So here we got some more women now. Yeah.
Great job, girls.
So, if I'm being honest, this girl here, I'm honestly not sure if she's in the race. The girl that's leaning here on the sandbag, she was holding
Yeah,
hands.
darn it. No, she's
she
got a
started
red.
with the
She's
men
got a
as well.
red band on. She's got a red
Does have a red
band on.
headband on.
I think she's just tired.
I think she's
But that's the
tired.
first time we've seen
Yeah,
her
clear.
slow down. I want to know who she is.
That's true. That's true. So I mean, whatever she's doing, she's still impressing us. But like I said, I wasn't sure if she's actually in the race or not because the way she started and I said she was holding hands with some guy. So maybe just kind of run with her boyfriend. I don't know.
Hell of an OCR couple right there. Those are my people, man. I like that.
Yeah.
Race
Yeah,
together.
right?
It's one thing to go to the races together, but then to race together. It's awesome, man.
For sure.
Well, good for them.
All right, so now we're trying. It looks like this. We might be trying to get a hold of some women still on the sandbag carry, perhaps. But no, now we got some more men here coming to the bottom of the hill. We got a little extra obstacle. I think a little unlabeled
Yep.
obstacle go underneath this bridge, which can break up your rhythm, you know. And it looks like Ethan might have passed Mateo, which is that Mateo? I think so. Yeah. So I think we might be looking at Grayson Kilgore 1 and Ethan Brown 2, and then Mateo 3 possibly. I'll have to see at this rig what's going on. I mean, looks like we got rig. This is new. Rings and monkey bars. So haven't seen this
Yep.
in a while.
I like to see him switching it up.
Yeah, both making pretty quick work of it.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Here's
okay,
what
so
I've
you
been
do see Grayson into that barbed wire crawl. So you've got Grayson 1, Ethan Brown 2, and here goes Mateo 3, who looks like he's might be able to make some work on this barbed wire crawl. Both Ethan and Mateo pretty small in stature, so that should be an advantage for them here compared to Grayson, who's a little bigger.
Okay, you know what? This looks like a normal stretch of barbed wire crawl. That is not bad. That is a very
Yeah.
normal.
Honestly, it was hard to tell. Yeah, it was hard to tell if it was barbed or not. Sometimes I know they just have string, which makes, of course, a big game changer, but usually not. It was barbed. Usually not. Yeah, usually not barbed unless it's if it's a stadium. It's usually not barbed, but otherwise you're gonna get barbed. So, Grayson's still holding a lead here.
Hey guys.
No, we haven't seen Grayson in any of these other U.S. National Series this year. I don't think.
I don't think so
maybe he
either.
lives over there.
Yeah, I think he might be local to Utah, but heck of a showing for sure. If he's gonna be out here playing some spoiler if he doesn't end up winning this race.
Left. Straight through.
Oh, he almost went the wrong way. Rabbit's helping
Yep,
him out.
race brain will do that. You see where the line there is kind of in the grass. It
Yeah.
cuts over. You can't quite see. I would have made that same mistake.
Yeah.
Good on
So
our producer there
lucky.
for helping correct the path.
Yeah, for sure. Lucky he had one, because this is a regular, not National Series race. He would have been down the mountain somewhere else, and would have been
Hmm.
game over.
Good job.
Yeah, one might say he owes the producer a dinner or something, huh? You're
Right?
gonna have Jason Dupree's gonna have to reach out to Grayson Kilgore. That man owes him a meal right there.
Right? Although I don't think there's payout for the series races. Here we got a confirmation that there's number 3. So Grayson and Ethan and then Mateo is their current order. Yep, here we go. Yep, so this is through the multi-rig. So it's really a 3-horse race. With Adam Beach holding 4th, and then Denzel Webb. So this is really Mateo's opportunity. I mean, he doesn't probably really know where Adam is. I'm sure he knows that he's ahead of him.
Tight.
But
Top 3.
for all Mateo knows, Adam Beach could be in 9th place right now, and it could be an opportunity. So if you were to win this race over these guys, so if I'm Mateo right now, I'm really, really pushing as hard as I can.
I think this is an extremely hard bucket carry because you came down the mountain, you're in the festival area, your mind kind of starts to go to, oh, I'm at the finish. And then you end up going past the festival area right into a bucket carry. There's just something defeating about that, right?
Yeah, really a mind F for lack of better words, right?
Yeah, for sure. Like, oh God, no! Tell me there's a bucket carry of all things back hill. So now they are going uphill, and looks brutal. Keep
Yeah,
in
because you
mind
see our top.
Tired. Tired.
I'm sorry.
I've been
Yeah,
pulling
yeah,
up.
you're gonna say those buckets are heavy, for sure. I think they're at least 60 pounds of rocks, if not more.
They're
It's
all
hard
3
enough
up here,
running with
Scott.
this. It's like awkward.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll get them.
But yeah, you see even our
70.
top guys, they're all walking right now. So none of them are even attempting to put in a little jog, which you will see with the top guys. You'll see Grayson here. Actually, you'll see him. You can barely see him with the brush,
4 or 5
but
minutes behind.
you see him kind of running with it now. Looks like a little bit of a flatter section on the turnaround.
Up a little bit.
So we'll see if he opens up now once it gets to the downhill segment. It's also a good opportunity to see your competition as well, right? So you'll see
4th.
now Mateo can confirm that Adam's in 4th.
And he's well aware of where he's at in the point standing and where he needs to be. He's just trying to get these points. At this point, you've got to know, hey man, you're not going to run up that mountain with that bucket so fast you're going to pass those other 3 guys. He's just going to get these points.
They come through here.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, and I mean, yeah.
Out to
Adam
the
knows his
front.
efforts are probably
And then over to
not
the
worth
Z
wasting
wall,
here on this
through the
bucket
forest,
carry.
and then to the rolling
But
stuff.
potentially there's still opportunity if it gets flat,
Okay.
that gauntlet, depending on the elevation there, and depending on his obstacle proficiency. So you really never know. I mean, there's also the spear throw, right? Which if you have
Yeah.
a 2-minute gap on the spear throw, if you make and your opponent misses, that evens it out right there. And it looks like that's what this race is going to come down to for us. These 3, maybe even these top 5 men. So here goes
I bet
Grayson putting
one
down
of
the
these
bucket.
gentlemen. I bet one of these gentlemen are going to miss that spear throw, and it's going to throw everything off. This is going to be exciting.
Unintended.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we saw. I always look at the clock when someone finishes an obstacle. So we saw Grayson put his bucket down at 31:42. Curious to see if we'll be able to get a timestamp on Ethan and Mateo, who are neck and neck at the moment. And then also, more importantly, honestly, Adam. So here you've got the Atlas carry. Honestly, oh my God.
Wow.
Did you see that? Did you see Grayson just pick up that rock like it was a pebble? this stone weighs 100 pounds. For those of you at home, he just wait till you see the next guy get to it, and like all these this obstacle is not much of a problem or really not a problem for anybody who's wearing a red headband. But you'll see people have to put it on their knee and have to put it on their really struggle a little bit to get it up.
You've got to do
So
that
that was
obstacle to get the context, right, Tyler? Like you
yeah,
and me have
that was
done
just
that, and yeah, we get through it. We're not dropping the ball, but I'll be damned if I can throw it up on my shoulder so easily like that. Like it was him picking up his child or something. It's,
right. Yeah, seriously. Honestly, we need. I really want to get a screen grab of that. I'm gonna go back to this and watch that over because that was just something to see. And I think while we were talking about that, I think Ethan and Mateo also got a little turnaround. Um, so I think
yeah,
they may have lost a few
probably
seconds.
back
They
to
got
that little
pointed again
turn.
by a rabbit. Yeah, which honestly is a little disappointing to see, especially on a national series race. If I'm being completely honest, um,
Yeah.
that it was a little bit of struggle with the mark.
Now I
And here
wonder
we
what
got the
happened to
Z
Z
wall.
Wall 2.0. You remember they were
Yeah.
changing it up and kind of experimenting with it, but now it looks like we're back
Mhm.
to a regular Z Wall.
Yeah, well, speaking of that, Miles, you've got it looked like you had 4 panels there. So more of a W wall, if anything, but all
Yeah.
rock holds. Before in I think 2023, 2024, they were playing around with some ropes, which made it real hard, as well as
Yep.
some bars. The ropes particularly were harder than because there was some iterations that was ropes with no footholds, and honestly, that's kind of I would have liked to see that stay around for some of these elite men who were really not seeing any obstacle failures. Um, so it would have been nice to see a little change.
I don't want to give Spartan any ideas, but what if he did Z Wall with Olympus? To Z Wall
Oh,
to an more
what?
Olympus, shorter sections.
What? Yeah, what? I don't know what happened. I think Grayson might have got hurt right there. Possibly, almost looked like he did. Yeah, he made. I was. Yeah, he made a huge jump, and
Oh
he's
no!
definitely hurt. He is definitely hurt. That is
Oh
such a bummer.
no!
Oh,
No, not at the end.
that's
Oh
awful
man,
to
poor
see.
guy.
I think we had Rylan Shadegg actually in Utah on one of his first races when he was coming onto the scene in 2021. I think he also did something very similar where he might have like really bruised his heel or something like that, or even broke his foot. So you got to be real careful when you're actually doing that, right? You want to save every second,
All
but
right.
this definitely lost him big time.
Oh man, I feel bad for him. He's having such an amazing showing.
Yeah.
He's
Well,
doing
hopefully,
absolutely fantastic.
yeah. Hopefully, he's not as hurt as he appears to be on screen right now. We'll have to see when he comes out of this water how he's doing. But also what I was saying earlier, it looks like the dunk wall you've got. Oh no, let's see, and he's limp burning. So,
Yeah,
he
I
is
mean,
definitely injured. Oh,
we know OCR athletes, and there's no injury where you're not going to
Wow.
drag yourself
Come on,
across
right
that
there.
finish line. I tell you what, though,
yeah,
his legs hurt,
absolutely.
and most of us put our leg up on the bar when you do the Herculean
there,
hoist
man.
that he's about to attempt. If he can't put his leg up on there, well, he's a bigger guy. He can just strong arm that.
Yeah, I mean, with
Most other
with the
people
way
have
with the
a
way
hard
he
time.
yeah, look, it's already coming down for him. With the way he manipulated that Atlas stone, I don't think he's gonna have any problem there. But the real question now is, will Grayson be able to run injured fast enough to hold off a very capable Mateo and Ethan? So yeah, curious to really know what's exactly hurt on him at the moment. Maybe we'll get a post race interview with him to figure out what exactly happened. But definitely appears to be his right leg that's hurt. So this is going to be a really big spear throw because if he
Yeah.
misses this spear throw, he's definitely going to be in trouble as far as the win goes. Which again, so disappointing to see this come down to this.
Left-handed.
Let's see. Oh,
Left-handed.
light
Fix it.
work.
No.
Oh, good, right? Or no?
Oh, he looks like
It's
he
hard to
missed
tell
it.
with
He
the
looks
sun.
disappointed, like he missed it. Yeah, he must have missed it. He
Ah,
couldn't tell that
oh,
angle.
yeah.
Oh no. Yeah, poor guy. I feel bad for him. It's what a showing, and then the get injured and then miss your spear, man. That is defeating.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I won't give him too much flack on it, but I'd also be worried about his burpee form right there, not looking super straight. I'm not sure how. I mean, it's going to be up to the volunteers there and the judges how strict they be on that. Let's see, Mateo. Nope.
No.
Mateo's a miss too.
This is really going to throw off the whole field. This is
Yeah.
wild.
Notice how both of them. It looks like Ethan's out of there. So it looks like Ethan got the hit. Yeah, he's out of there. So that's a huge bonus. But notice them both very smartly doing their burpees, going up the hill. That's
Yeah,
a pro
good
strat
point.
right there.
I kind of like, remember the
little-
women's field in the previous race, they were doing the burpees slowly down the hill, working their way towards the finish line. I thought that was pretty cool. I don't know if you remember that.
Oh,
from
kind
the
of like
last
almost like
race.
a burpee broad jump. Oh, speaking of high rocks,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? Yeah. Oh man, he is.
I never
he is
confirmed
definitely
that that's
hurt.
legal, but it seemed like it worked, so.
Yeah, for sure. So now we went from this has been a crazy race, honestly. Now we went from Grayson's race to lose, the injury and the miss. Now Ethan hit his spear, so now it's really Ethan's race to lose, especially knowing that Grayson is injured. And then the next question is, where is Adam Beach in all this?
Yeah. 39 minutes in a
Casey's
sprint.
on the,
This is a long sprint, ladies and
Maybe
gentlemen.
Z-Wall. So you can go catch up with her.
Yeah. And I know we've been really just kind of on the men at this point, but we're also unsure what the status of the ladies are. We know it's probably some, Kaci and Claudia 1-2, and then who knows from there. So we'll get you an update as soon as we have eyes on those athletes.
Yep, we see Grayson Kilgore there on the side. He is.
Here we go. Oh, here's the
there
split we
we
were
go.
just talking about. So 4 minutes back for the next. But you've got Camry Kingston and Zariah Tolman neck and neck here for third 4, and then Chloe within striking distance. Oh, and here's the end for Ethan. So not being climactic there, but big win for him. I don't think he was in the series either. It's funny because he usually actually is a participant in the series. So nice win for Ethan. And I'll see if Grayson can shake off this injury to hold on to second place.
You know he's got to be nervous landing on it. Oh yeah, you can tell it. He's feeling that when he lands on it. It's so high up. It's hard to not land
Yeah,
on
it's
it.
probably
You
a
can try
hip.
it.
Yeah, it's probably a hip or a foot or something like that. Something bone related.
Yeah, look on the right side of the screen. We see Kaci Monroe coming through the coming up
right
to
on
the
your tail.
Oh,
dunk
there's
wall,
Kate, yeah.
and
Yeah.
that was not deep water at all.
Come
That
on.
looked like ankle deep water before the dunk wall. So I
Yeah,
understand.
he just
people
cannonballed.
were
Oh, look at
jumping in.
this right here. You've got Adam hunting Mateo. This is Oh, Mateo went to a walk. Oh, wow. He just was like,
He's
yeah,
like,
man.
good on you, man.
Good-
He says,
good
you
job.
got this. Wow.
Wow. Honestly,
I'm surprised.
Adam might get Grayson here. This is, let's see, based on his Grayson's inability to sprint right now, probably. Let's see. Oh, Grayson's gonna try it.
He did
Oh,
it.
wow.
He did it. Oh,
He still
that's
made
awesome.
it. Great, definitely happy to see that for sure. That Grayson didn't just lose it on the end there for not being able to sprint.
How exciting. Now, I wonder, it looks like Mateo blew up. I mean, he was the dominant force going up the hill and everything. He looked fantastic. I'm not sure what point he slowed down.
How you gonna do?
Yeah, and I think I definitely I'm
there.
assuming Adam hit his spear. We didn't get to see it, but the 30 burpees definitely blew him up. I mean, you see all these guys on the ground, so they all went for it on this. So, again, we've got Ethan Brown first, Grayson Kilgore second, Adam Beach third, and Mateo fourth. Now that we've kind of covered most of the men's race here, we're gonna switch it over to the women as much as we can here. I'm sure towards the end with Kaci in first, and then Claudia in second. So you've got Claudia working on her Hercules hoist.
Making fast work of it at that.
Yeah, and
Oh, what a cool
yet to
viewpoint.
be seen. There we go. Here's Kaci doing her burpees.
Oh.
You notice that she's not going right with the hill.
Good job, Mike.
And then you've got on the men's side, you've got Dustin, Needham, and Tomash on their spear. Now you've got Claudia with a chance to possibly take the win with just 2 obstacles to go. Unsure what number burpee Kaci might be on here, but this is
Extra pressure
make
coming
or
into
break
the spear
spear.
throw and spin. Yeah,
You
she
see
sees Casey doing the
you're in second. You
burpees.
see Dustin with a nice hit. Gotta be honest though, you'd think these volunteers would be actually like watching Casey's burpee form. Not like there's anything wrong with it. You'd think they'd be watching her burpee form here. Oh, nope, no
It
good.
hits. Yeah, the end of the
Yeah, they're
spear.
just having a
for you at
conversation
home
like it's a
watching it.
day on the beach.
You want to go or do you want me to go?
Yep, can't hit the ground. The bottom of that spear cannot hit. Even if it sticks in, it can't hit the ground. And so, sure enough, that's going to cost her.
Yeah, so I mean,
Yeah.
pretty much not much we can do here.
I don't like the burpees right there.
Yeah,
The
burpee
person
kick.
not touching chest to ground at
Yep.
all. Don't like that.
Yeah, I think she's okay with her. Her hips are hitting and her looks like her chest is touching. They're kind of looking like a seal, which is understandable. 43 minutes into a hard race.
No, the ladies look great. I'm talking about the gentleman there on the right, not
Oh
touching
yeah, and
chest to
actually this
ground
guy
at all.
here has got. Oh, I see what
Her.
you're talking
Do we
about.
see third?
Not yet.
Yeah, I mean,
Good job, Casey.
of course, we love the volunteers, right? They definitely
Yeah.
do a good job.
Right, and then I'll come back.
It's not an easy shift to work.
Yeah, she.
It's
Yeah.
you get a free race code and that's it, and you're out there for probably 6 to 8 hours in most cases. But you would think you would if you're gonna do burpees for the spear, especially in a U.S. National Series race, you'd get somebody as a referee, to really legitimize the sport. But
Well, he
it really
probably
matters
doesn't know.
as far as-
You know what I mean? He probably doesn't know any better. He could be new to the sport and just doesn't know how strict the rules are on the forum. That's all. He probably doesn't know.
Yeah. Right, yeah. It's a lot of times you're really not briefed. But this poor guy here is looking pretty gassed anyway.
What a great race between
given a head
Claudia
shake
and...
of
Check that.
I mean yeah, I mean it's not over. I mean look at Claudia's way Claudia's running, but I mean I guess it probably is over, but if Claudia were to pull an Adam Beach and really sprint this out, who knows what she has in the tank at the moment for that. Let's see. Yeah, trying to see if we've got anything interesting with Claudia here. It doesn't look like it. Looks like we're gonna get Kaci as the winner here, which is great to see. You've got
Can you get through?
I think she's
Can you get
got
through?
this is third here. But yeah, you got Kaci, a mom of 2 kids. I know Mr. Needham didn't like me calling him an older athlete last time, but I'll say with all due respect, Kaci a bit of an older athlete. I believe she's in her late 30s, so for her to be
Well, that would be a fun way to do it.
pushing for wins still this late in her career. She's been around the sport for a while. Is great to see as well.
Yeah, I don't care how old you are. You got a job and 2 kids. To be able to train for these races is difficult in itself, no matter how old you are. Just time constraints.
Absolutely. All right, so we've still possibly, I think we actually still got a good battle for third here. Definitely at least a spear throw between them for sure. This girl here, I think, is currently 4.
I feel bad I don't know her name. She looks familiar.
I think it's Zaraya, I think, or something with a Z.
You got this.
And then I believe this is third. We're hearing this is third right now. And I believe we also had a Camry also in the mix here. So we'll see. Hopefully we can actually stick around at the spear to see what kind of battle we have. All right.
Sounds
So
like Chloe
this here is Chloe
coming out.
Malekian, and yeah, well, if this is Chloe Malecki, shout out.
Nice
All right,
form. Nice
we'll talk
form.
about Claudia for. Oh,
So close.
Dang it.
she thought she had it, but no, she does not
It was
have it.
good form.
So
The way she was holding it, the way she
Yeah.
threw it, it almost stuck in. It just veered slightly to the
Well
left,
done.
just enough to hit that outside of the circular wall. I tell you what, if this is the old days, if that was just the straw men, she would have nailed that. She would have been good to go.
yeah, absolutely.
But she would have, could have, right?
And yeah, again, definitely we need some work on the burpee form on the gentleman here, but
That's right.
this woman here is looking pretty strong, and look at the cadence compared to the dude. Just gonna shout that out real quick.
We're gonna start a separate show
Might need a little bit of
where you and me judge people's burpee form.
Yeah, right. She might need a little bit of straighter back, if I'm being honest. But it's hard to tell with the camera angle. But I'm not going to really be too much of a stickler. I'm impressed by her cadence and pace at this point in the race.
No, I'm gonna be a stickler.
It's definitely better than the dude.
Yeah, we need a reality show where it's just couples meet each other via burpee form or something like that. We can turn this into a reality show.
don't let CBS get a hold of you. Anything you can turn into a reality show, they're gonna do it.
That's right.
Yeah, I mean, get a revival of the Spartan
OCR
show.
dating show. You know,
that was pretty quick work. Yeah, of those burpees, she definitely pushed here. And then is this so? Producer, this is Chloe, I think. So let's see
I
what
like
happens.
the technique. Look.
Two-handed form, keeping it straight.
Nice job.
Oh, what
Yes!
a toss!
Third place is right up there.
All right,
She shot from burpees.
shout out to
Wow.
You can catch her.
yeah. And I think this might be Chloe Melkian here. And shout out to Chloe Melkian, Armenian, fellow Armenian, based on that IAN last name. So I'm already rooting for her just for that reason alone. But
Awesome
does she have
technique.
enough
She's
ground?
obviously practiced it a bunch.
Yeah, right. Does she have enough real estate left in the course to catch the girl in front of her is going to be the question here. We've got hurdles and slip wall, I believe, are the last two obstacles. And she definitely does, because this girl is walking. And let me tell you, I raced yesterday in Poconos, and I finally hit my spear for the first time this year. Definitely a power boost, for sure. So she is feeling good, and yep. Yeah, so Chloe is feeling good, just past who we're getting told is Zaraya. Not too familiar with her yet this year. Yeah, great cadence on the burpees, but definitely burned a match doing that.
Understandably so. 30 burpees, man. It's hard to run after that.
Yeah, especially again, 50 minutes.
Yeah,
Honestly,
I
great.
don't know if you can tell by the video, but this is all uphill. So that's those beams right there, those I beams, the Irish table there. That's even harder than it looks.
Yeah, and honestly, great tech. I mean, Chloe looks great. I mean, we didn't get to see much of her running at all throughout the whole race, but from spear on, I mean, the way she just sprung up onto that hurdle was pretty dang good. I'm sure these athletes are grateful that the ropes are quite long. Sometimes they can vary. Sometimes they are not generous with the ropes on these slip walls. So I'm sure they're grateful if it wasn't too much of a struggle for them. Kind of right out of the bottom.
Awesome. There you go.
All right, so that's Chloe. Yep. So that was Chloe. Yep.
Good job.
And then here's Zaraya again. Definitely toast.
Good job.
You can hear the voices in the background. I love that. You hear all the encouragement. That's what the OCR community is about. That kind of encouragement and motivation and pushing each other. Total strangers. Hey, come on, you got this. We believe in you. You're right there. Like there's nothing like it. It's absolutely beautiful.
Especially after you raced. kind of a low one, right? Because usually there's not many spectators throughout the course up until the end. So, and that's right where these athletes really need it. So, really love to see that.
Nice job.
It looked like it sounded like Chloe was about to go run the beast. I think that's what Casey just said to her. So, said good luck in the beast. So, that's pretty insane right there. Oh, and here, speaking of Casey's kids, I think this is a picture of her with her two kids. So that's cool.
That's awesome.
Can your mom do that?
Interviews,
That's
and
what
then
I feel like.
Yeah.
Top years.
I don't think she
I
can.
bet you your mom can't go out there and win a
Casey, I
Spartan
don't have any
race.
mics today, but you mind?
Yeah,
For a second?
I wonder if at school to be like, oh, my
You,
mom can beat up your mom.
pulled
Yeah,
it
well,
out
here's a
with a
picture of my
nice-
mom.
nice
Look what
lead
she
on that
did.
one.
You sure about that?
Last race of the series. How you
So-
feel?
Good.
Yeah, so we're gonna try to see if we can hear Casey right now.
It seems like a waste of a mountain to do a sprint here, but
Yeah.
I love this place.
Yeah, y'all did the beast last year,
Yeah.
and you won that one too, didn't you? Or
And I won the series.
It was
I got
Lauren
third.
Weeks.
Lauren Weeks
Yeah.
popped out.
Yeah.
And oh, what's that other girl's name? She was pretty good runner. Got second.
yeah, Lisa, I think.
Yeah.
Masaccio. Yeah. Anyways, I think series wise, I think Cassandra's still in first. I'll have to
Yeah.
double check,
I
but
had to get two first to get close to her.
yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
The second place is pretty sweet, especially with two of those races being flat courses.
Yeah, not my race. That's what I gotta figure out is that flat racing early in the season. We still have a lot of snow that time of year, so it's hard to get up to speed.
You got any plans for next year yet, or even the rest of this year? It's still so early.
I'm going to USA, or not, it's the OCR World Champions in Sweden in September.
Awesome,
And then I'll probably do a couple other races somewhere in there.
awesome, very cool. All right, anybody want to shout out?
My babies, Ireland and Jameson, are here watching.
Good crew.
They're gonna race today too.
Oh, sweet, fantastic. It's gonna be a good time. All right, good to see you, Casey.
Hey, Jen.
Adam Beach, congratulations, first place in the series, third place today, securing first place in the series. How'd you feel about the series and today?
Series was fun. I really like the East Coast races. If we could just do like Jacksonville, Charlotte, and like Asheville, that'd be great. But they had to bring me out here to the mountains and the altitude, which I'm not quite as used to. So didn't win today, but I'm happy that I got the podium to finish it out. It feels a little more accomplished.
All right, let's get that shout out one more time.
Shout out to Maddie for coming out, holding the camera,
Awesome Rabbit.
and shout out to Spartan for putting on a series. Give me something to do.
All right, thanks, Steve.
Give me something to do. Love it. Cool. All right, so we got to hear from Casey and Adam. Not as many interviews as Charlotte, but definitely still good to hear from those guys. Miles, what are your thoughts?
Well, it kind of played out exactly the way we thought it was going to play out. You know, he was a lock for Adam Beach was a lock numerically. He managed to get the points that he needed, so it's locked away. I wish we could have saw Mike Strobel there at the end. I believe he ends up doing really well right at the end and taking third in the U.S. National Series, with Mateo Pelisa also taking second because of those points. That may have also been why Mateo knew where he was points wise, just mathematically, that it was okay to pat Adam Beach on the back and say, hey man, you got this, keep pushing, let him pass. Is a great sportsman and kind of played out where he went. I tell you what, it was a fantastic race at their end. That the spear throw really threw everything off. I feel especially bad for Grayson Kilgore because, man, what a really hard last little tiny section of a very long sprint, gets injured and misses the spear throw in the time in which we went back to 30 burpees, right? So hard.
Yeah.
Here we have him going into
And
it.
per request, look at this. Look at that. You're not going to see a better Atlas pickup than that ever. So, and here's the big jump. Oh, you could
Yeah. It looks like he actually
yeah,
fell
because
down.
he was in that water way too long. He definitely did something not great to his leg in some capacity. Like I said, I'm pretty sure Rylan Shadag had a very similar experience when he first came on the scene in 2021. So definitely a bummer. I think we should get the final results for the race if we've got that ready, and then probably go into the series after that. So I'll kind of go down here. Some of the top guys. Yeah, Ethan Brown first. Grayson Kilgore still hang on to second, barely ahead of Adam Beach in third. Then Mateo Paliza in fourth. And then, like you mentioned, Mike Strobel in fifth. Tomasz Warzenek in sixth. Scott Lerg, seven. Dustin Needham, eight. Jared Franchosa, nine. And Derek Thompson, 10.
Yeah, shout out to Ethan Brown, man. What a fantastic show. Like I've always known him for being better in the longer distances, but nailed that spear. And look, he was considerably behind those other guys, in a minute 34 difference between him and Grayson Kilgore. Really
Yeah,
impressive.
absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, not sure if we're gonna get next. They're gonna get the series results, or if we're gonna do the ladies time wise first. Looks like we're gonna do the ladies time first. So we got Kaci Monroe again in first, Claudia Bongiovanni second, Chloe Melkian third, Zaria Tolman, Camry Kingston, Felicia Andrade, Jessica Woods, Kendall McKenzie, Brittany, maybe that might be Britton Ross, and Stacy Dart.
Yep. And I believe for the U.S. National Series altogether, they should wrap up with still Cassandra Gill taking first place in the U.S. National Series, and then followed by Kaci Monroe with those points right there. Phenomenal showing by all the ladies. I'm really impressed by Mateo Pelisa and Claudia Bongiovanni, but coming over from a whole nother continent, hanging out in America, taking on all of our U.S. National Series and dominating, like doing amazing.
Yeah, and so
He
here
really
we've
put on.
got the. I was just gonna say here we got the men's leaderboard right here. So Miles, you want to read these guys off?
Yeah, it is. So we got Adam Beach obviously taking first place, and this is over for everyone watching. This is the whole U.S. National Series. Second place with Matteo Belisa from Italy, and who's on the pro team over there. And then, of course, Mike Strobel coming up in third place. And you notice there's a good gap there in points. There's about 100-point gap in between these top six men here. And then, of course, oh, man, Tomas, I'm sorry I can't pronounce that last name. You did a much better job pronouncing that last name.
I'm going with I'm going with Warzenek. So hopefully that's right,
Warzenek.
Tomas. You can feel free to slide in my DMs if it's wrong. We can figure that out.
Yeah,
And the young gun,
forgive me.
Dustin Needham in fifth, and Evan Phillips in sixth. I would really love to see this fill out more, for sure. Right. Definitely back. You're thinking before COVID, this list was 30, 40 guys long. Who were doing all the series races. So hopefully we'll see some more entrants in the field coming up
Well,
next couple years.
I think in order to make that happen, honestly, Tyler, what needs to happen is it's got to pay out. You want to attract
Mm-hmm.
the athletes, because look, it's expensive to fly to all these. Even if you're American within the states here, it's expensive to fly from one state to another. Those flights cost a lot of money and the time, and so
Yep.
paying out on the podium a decent amount to help offset that might really try and create this environment in which it attracts more talent and more people are able
Yeah.
to compete in at least three of a four U.S. National Series. I think that it's my theory, my little hypothesis that I think that's the majority of the reason why you're not seeing this flesh out.
Yeah, definitely not
Yeah,
not the only person that feels that way for sure. Miles Keller, absolutely. But to go down the ladies list here, we've got Cassandra Gill again. She was not here at this race. She just was the top American at the Ultra Championships over in Morzine. And then second place, Kaci Monroe, your winner today. Claudia Bongiovanni rounding out the podium. And we had Sabrina Buigar, who I think was also in Morzine, so not here today either, in fourth. And then Chloe Melkian in fifth.
yeah. Yeah, Sabrina was also as well. Buhagiar, she was there as well, and rooting her on. Can't wait to see the pictures and the videos from Morzine. But what a fantastic U.S. National Series! That was a lot of fun. Congratulations to all the athletes that worked so hard. Oh, we're hearing that you actually can watch the Morzine race, but it's on the Spartan channel for Europe. So maybe you can find
Yeah,
that
yeah.
and see the.
Spartan France on Instagram also did a great job of showing a lot of different stuff. I mean, they had like smoke come up when the top athletes finished. They had their name on, I think, all the names on the video board, even for the last finishers. So definitely really cool to see that. And so why don't we hear what's next? I know we've got a bunch of races. I think the Canadian series is, yeah. Canadian series is starting up like nowish. So we did the U.S. already, and then now we're going to go over to Canada for the next part of the year. And of course, they've got Kaci mentioned. There's a big OCR race in Sweden that a lot of these folks are going to be racing in. So still a good amount of racing to go for 2025.
Yeah, the race in Sweden will be specifically interesting. They did it in Costa Rica last year, and they always run into little troubles and problems in here, and see who shows up. That's always that seems to be developing really well. And what a beautiful country to do it in, Sweden. Can't wait to see how that plays it out. And I still think we're early on in the race season, so there's still so much more to go. Stay tuned, the OCR report. This is a good time to mention the like and subscribe, comment, engage with us, give us feedback. Excuse me. We have a Patreon if you'd like to support it, so we can continue to bring this kind of content and be able to make it to more of the races and get the technology we need to flush it out further. So don't make sure to do all that great stuff.
Absolutely. Yep. Good plug, Miles. Do we have the next race planned out? What we're covering here? The next one is. I know we've got maybe Pan American. There's Pan American in Seattle as well. That's we might be covering, as well as maybe even anything on West Virginia. Trifecta. All right. So next race we're going to be bringing you is going to be Red Deer, August 10th. So just about a month away from that race. Probably similar format again. I believe it's another sprint for that Canadian series. So that delivered a lot of good moments. I was able to cover a few of those races last year. So looking forward to watching that play out.
That was a lot of fun covering the Canadian series, and plus also some of the greatest athletes in OCR to come from Canada. So it'd be really interesting to see who shows up. I really would like to see Ryan Atkins jump back in the mix. I know he's been out of it for a little bit, but I love to see him come back and show up. It's always fun watching him.
One can only hope.
Yeah. He's been called out. Show up, Ryan, and call him out here.
Cool. All right, so I think that's going to do it for us. Again, thanks to OCR Report for having us here. Thanks to the man behind the scenes, Jason Dupree, for putting this all together. And we will see you next time in Red Deer.